Happy New Year! How is everybody this morning? Listen, I am super stoked. I hope that you are ready for 2025 because it's coming and it's going to be hot. And we got tons of good stuff happening inside the circle. We've got independent advocates launching practices, building their clientele, and lots of support and conversation around that. So, I've dropped Happy New Year in the chat and let me know you're awake this morning because I am stoked. You wouldn't believe me, but I'm going to tell you this is literally my first cup of coffee today. I am a little bit, hello. I'm a little bit excited. I'm in Michigan and we're not far enough south for that crazy snow and ice storm today. So if you're experiencing that, I am so sorry. I know that is really hard. And so I sure don't wish that on anyone, but maybe you got a snow day out of it. Maybe you're hanging out and not having to go to work, right? Look at all these Happy New Years. There's Jules, there's Barbara, Angie. I love it. You're in it, Barbara. You're in Cincinnati, so you're probably right there. I talked to my son this morning in Indianapolis, and he said they had 6 inches and it was still snowing. And anyway, I'm glad I'm here. I'm glad I have my coffee. Still able to get out and work. Listen, if you guys did not get the planner yet, we are having our first Plan With Me session this afternoon at noon Eastern time. There's still time to get that. Okay, so click that link, go get the planner, join us for our Plan With Me session. Q1 is going to be fire, guys. I'm telling you, it's already out there. So let's talk about this. We are in Mindset Monday, and you may notice my co-host, Kayla Thompson-Riviere, is not with us this morning. I'm super missing her. However, she is out hanging out with her children and her family doing a fun experience holiday gift. So, Kayla, if you watch this later, which who knows, but if you do, we miss you. So happy Monday, everyone. Welcome to Mindset Monday, where independent patient advocates like us come together to start the week with positivity and inspiration. My name is Nicole Broadhurst, and I'm not here with my co-host, Kayla Thompson-Riviere. And today we're focusing on perseverance, resilience, and adaptability. We have a really powerful quote to guide us through this new week of advocacy. So let's dive in and get inspired. So, all right, I really want to talk about last week's quote, the one that I'd love to share, but apparently decided to take a vacation from my memory. Clearly, 1 cup of coffee is not enough. It's because I can't remember what we talked about last week, but hey, life goes on. And sometimes all we can do is just kind of laugh it off and move forward, right? A perseverance and resilience and adaptability, which is what that just was. So let's talk about this week's quote. And it comes from Robert Jordan, who is an American author. The oak fought the wind and was broken. The willow bent when it must and survived. So this quote sets the stage perfectly for our pillar of perseverance, resilience, and adaptability. These are all essential qualities, not just in life in general, but especially in our work as independent patient advocates. So there's 3 things. You guys know me. There's always 3 things, right? 3 things that I want you to get out of this quote. And for those of you that have the planner, there is a place for your daily what do they call that? Daily affirmation. And just so you know, I use these Monday mindset quotes in that section all week long so that I remember. So what are these 3 things that I want us to get out of this quote today? The first one is, let's try to remember to embrace flexibility over rigidity, right? The oak, while mighty strong, right? Mighty strong, in the wind, it snaps and it breaks, right? That's kind of rigidity if we're real about it, right? When we are so rigid and so focused on an idea or the way that the world is supposed to be, sometimes we get broken. So we want to be really flexible and adaptable, like a willow bending in the storm, right? The wind comes and we just kind of flow with it. In our work specifically, we often need to pivot our strategies and our approaches to serving our clients so that we're always making sure that we're hitting the mark, right? And we're serving and we're providing the service that our clients want and need in that moment, right? Sticking to a rigid plan can leave us stressed and overwhelmed, especially when unexpected challenges arise, because that wasn't part of the plan, right? So how many, drop in the chat, let us know if you've had a situation where you absolutely had to pivot and when it worked, or when you had to pivot and struggled and it didn't work. So as we go through the week, stay open, right, to new ideas and new approaches. If you're part of the mastermind, you see me go through this a lot when we talk about cases, because this might tell you where I'm originally from, but there is more than one way to skin a cat, okay? And what that means is that there's always more than one way to achieve a particular goal. And because of that, and because we try to stay flexible and adaptable, it's really important that we're always evaluating and looking for all of the opportunities and all of the potential paths to resolution in advocacy work or in life, right? Like, it doesn't really matter. It could be just life as well. So as we go through this week and you're thinking about this, being strong like an oak or being flexible like a willow, if there comes a time when things are complicated or more complicated than you expect, it's okay to pause, reevaluate, reconsider all of the existing options, and find a creative solution rather than doubling down on methods that aren't working, right? And I see this a lot in newer advocates who have come to and just have this very strong commitment to the way that it should work. And then when it doesn't work that way, they kind of get stuck there. Like you get into this pattern, and this is true across the board, right? This isn't just advocacy. How many times do we set out on a path and we're going to do this thing, and then it doesn't work right, and instead of taking a moment to pause and reevaluate our options and the potential paths to resolution, we just keep beating our head on that wall, right? Like, until sometimes I've gotten a bloody forehead, metaphorically, right? So don't do that, right? Be open to, and this is also where your community comes into place, right? Because you can reach out to other advocates, connect with people inside the community, the circle. There's plenty. There's 200 and some odd advocates available to you at your access in that network. Utilize that. Brainstorm with each other, sharing resources. That's what that community is for. So do that, right? Leverage. My sister has a great saying. When she gets into a spot, you know what she says? I call my people. I run through my head, and who is my person in my world who probably knows the answer to this or has the solution, and then she reaches out. And I think that's a great way to look at this. So the first thing is, try to embrace flexibility over rigidity. Again, like everything, it takes practice. So start working on small things, right? If it's how to get the water in the coffee maker, maybe you use a, what do they call that? A funnel, or you pour from higher up, right? Like, you look at different options. I know that's kind of silly, but that's what I thought of this morning because I'm thinking of coffee. All right, so the second thing is resilience is strength in motion. Resilience is strength in motion. I love this. So why is this important? So flexibility doesn't mean that we're weak. Okay? In fact, it's the ability to bend under pressure that's a sign of resilience. Okay, so this is one of the things we talk about a lot in our strategic planning. What I do today will show up in 90 days in my business, right? So don't flex too soon, right? Give everything, trust the process, and let everything work through it. However, when it's time to make a shift in the plan, don't be afraid to shift. This is one of the reasons we work for ourselves, right? Because I don't know about you, but for me, it's much easier for me to make these shifts unilaterally. Like I don't have to ask permission. I can just say, oh, stop. Let's try something different here. Let's reevaluate this. And remember, it's not always easy, right? So how could you apply this? What does that look like in real life? So if I'm negotiating a complex medical bill, or you're a clinical advocate and you're guiding a patient through a difficult clinical scenario, adapting a resilient mindset might be understanding that you can't control what everybody else is doing and what's happening, but you can control how you respond to it, right? So exercise that strength. And when you can do it from a calm place, trust me, people and situations in the world in general, will see your strength as you ebb and flow through life and those circumstances. The ability to do that is just absolute resilience. My son, I'm just going to share this. My son is rebuilding an engine currently, and yeah, I don't know anything about it, but what I do know is that this is a long process, and almost daily he says something along the lines of, well, this came up and I sure didn't expect that. So instead of it being A, B, C for me to get this done, I got it done, but it was X, Y, Z that actually worked. So again, this resilience and this ability to pivot and move and ebb and flow with the universe, right? Because we never know what's right around the corner. All right, so the first thing was embrace flexibility over rigidity. The second was resilience is actually strength in motion. And then the third thing is adaptation fuels growth. Adaptation fuels growth. Isn't that interesting? So why is that important? So the trees, since we're talking about trees adapt to their environment, like the willow trees, any trees, that adapt to their environment, not only survive, but often flourish. And this is true for us as human beings as well, right? When we adapt to our environment, when we remain resilient and perseverant and adaptable, right? When we do that, we also are improving our internal personal growth and changing and growing as human beings. And as a result of that, we too often flourish. I've shared before that this entrepreneurial journey for me at Tennessee Health Advocates has absolutely been one of the, if not the, it's certainly been one of the most powerful growth experiences, both personally and professionally, because it challenges me every day to implement these things, to be more adaptable, to be more resilient, to be flexible. And this is true in our advocacy work, right? Because all of us are adapting to changes in healthcare policies, billing procedures, clinical statuses, disease progression, disease management, all of these things, right? When I worked in healthcare administration, one of the things that I often said was, the only thing that stays the same in healthcare is that something's going to be different today, right? That's the only thing that's the same every single day, that something is going to be different today. And I think that is exactly what we're talking about today, adapting to that and helping us stay flexible with all of the things. So how do we apply this? We're just going to have to start continuously refining our processes and systems, understanding that there's always room for some improvement, there's always room for growth, and for this whole idea of being flexible and growing stronger. So as this, like I said, as this work at Tennessee Health Advocates, I really do see that being adaptable in response to external situations is absolutely, absolutely hands down what has allowed me to provide some peace of mind, not only to my clients, but to my family and to the people around me that I love, and to myself, right? I know that I can show up every day. I'm not going to lie. This morning I got up. When I first opened my eyes, I was like, I don't know if I can do this. I have so much to do today. I don't know that I can do it. Maybe I should just stay in bed. I'm so glad I didn't. I'm so glad that I'm hanging out with you. Okay, so those are the 3 things that I really wanted you to get out of this quote. I would love to hear from you. How are you going to bend like the willow this week in your practice and or your daily life? Jump into the comments here and share a specific way that you plan to adapt to a challenge that you're facing. Let's ensure that we inspire each other and we learn from each other as we focus on this week's pillar of perseverance, resilience, and adaptability through the week. And by the way, don't forget, if you're not a member of the Circle, our free online community where independent patient advocates come together to share tools, resources, and support to build sustainable and profitable practices so we can all weather the winds of change with grace and strength, make sure you join today. We miss you. We want you over there. So let's keep pushing forward one flexible step at a time. So that's a wrap for today's Mindset Monday. I am so grateful for you as members of our community as independent patient advocates. I hope that today's quote on perseverance empowers you in your work and your personal life this week. But be sure to share how you're applying it inside your practice, inside your personal life. And we'll see you next Monday for more inspiration as we talk about self-care and boundaries. Go have a great day, you guys. I'll see you later this week. Bye.